Obviously, our presentation is on Mars, as you can tell. I'm Cadet Canova.
My name is Cadet Basant.
And I'm Cadet Rice,
And this is NightHawks Mars.
also known as the Red Planet.
Yes. Okay, so the moons of Mars. Mars has two moons. Their names are Phobos and Deimos. They are Earth's moon is about 240,000 miles away from the Earth, while one of Mars' moons, which is Phobos, is only about 3,700 miles away. The atmosphere. The atmosphere of Mars is like layers of gases surrounding Mars. It is mostly composed of like carbon dioxide and 1.9% air and 1.9% of nitrogen, and other gases can be also found in its atmosphere. So yeah. Oh, there are like little tiny traces of oxygen. Well, that's actually kind of what they think. Also, yeah. The surface temp. So the mass of Mars is about like 6.42 times 10,723 kilograms, which is about 10.7% of Earth's. Yeah. Oh, and the surface temperature of Mars is like negative 153 to 20 Celsius. So it's kind of cold there. So yes. And the orbit distance and speed. Mars has an
orbit distance with a semi-major axis of 1.524 astronomical units (AU), which is 228 million kilometers, and the planet orbits the Sun in 687 days and travels 9.55 AU. In doing so, making the average orbit speed 24 kilometers per second.
So gravity. Mars's gravity is about 3.711 a lot, and compared to Earth's gravity, which is about that. So like if you weighed about 100 pounds on Earth, you weigh about like 38 pounds on Mars, like due to the less gravitational pull. Yeah.
Alright, the density of Mars is roughly around 3.93 grams cubed, but it could be off because we really don't have any way of measuring the exact density of Mars. It is about 1.5 grams heavier than Earth, or lighter than Earth, my bad. Mars is 227,940,000 kilometers, or 1,524 AU from the Sun, which is a big number. And if you want, you can read this number. I'm not even going to attempt it because I'm going to fail. So attempt. Surface area of Mars. Depending on which one you want to go with, I got mine from a science website that's run by NASA, but multiple websites gave me multiple different answers, but the closest one I found was 144.8 million kilometers squared, or 55.19 million miles squared, which is slightly smaller than Earth, but not by very much, and is basically made out of basalt materials. Yeah. Polar diameter. Mars' polar diameter is 6,752 kilometers. Earth is about 6,000 kilometers wider than Mars' polar diameter, but again, it's not exact. Length of a day. It's just like an Earth day except for 37 minutes longer. And due to its rotation, some days might be longer. Yeah, but in a year it's 365.25 days of Earth days. So, yeah.
Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons is the largest volcano on the surface of Mars. The volcano is actually the biggest volcano in our whole entire solar system.
The radius. The radius of Mars is 3,390 kilometers, which I don't know if that is actually correct, which would be 2,106 miles. The radius of Earth is 6,371 kilometers, which is 3,959 miles. Science missions. To find is Mars can be a livable planet. Missions have been done to see if Mars can be a livable planet, and whether or not it has water or oceans on it. Another science mission scientists did is I just answered that, didn't I?
So what do we want to learn about our science mission? Well, mostly we want to learn what it's made out of, so that way we can decide whether we can put a human organism on it or any form of life, but really we're just trying to figure out what it is and what it's made out of. And as far as we know, we can't because of the carbon dioxide and the nitrogen and the fact that anything you put on there will freeze. But we're still trying for some odd reason.
Okay. What do we not know, and what are we exploring? Scientists are currently working on explorations to go to Mars, but like he said earlier, we are currently unable to put anybody on Mars because of how cold it is. And they are also preparing. They can put like Mars rovers, of course, on it, and so they're preparing to drill into the surface of Mars to collect more samples so we can study them more.
Mysteries of the planet. Mars has many unknowns that we don't really understand. Like, see if there's like any water. Like, I mean, there have been mysteries and like evidence that there was like water on Mars, like with these weird indents and these weird little watermarks and all. So, yeah.
Alright, if we had unlimited money, we would see if we could put a human organism able to live on Mars to like maybe construct a greenhouse or some form of livable area. So we could probably grow plants and maybe live up there eventually, which I don't understand, unless of course you like freezing temperature. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tan in the sun, but at least you'd be on a different planet. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and to understand more about Mars itself, to figure out what it's really composed of and if there's anything we can actually do on Mars besides send rovers to it.
Oh, Mars rovers. Since it really isn't possible for people to go to Mars, they have decided to send Mars rovers, or little rovers, which we've all seen pictures of, and there's one actually there, to examine the planet more and also to collect more samples, like I said earlier, to study. And I think it's the earliest mission is actually still ongoing to collect and actually get to Mars, collect what they need, and then come back. It's still ongoing, and yeah.
And like the first mission they sent out two of these rovers and stuff, so yeah.
Extra facts about Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun, and it's the 2nd planet, smallest planet in our solar system. It was actually named after the god of war when the Romans first saw it in the sky. It wasn't, they didn't know what it was at the time, but red, god of war, blood, I guess they made a connection. It's mostly composed, or Mars has a lot of carbon dioxide in it, so we can't really send anything outside of a human in a suit that has oxygen getting pumped into it, otherwise they would die almost instantly. Only 18 missions have been successful. I don't know how many we've tried, a lot, I'm guessing. Mars' sun, Mars appears to be half the size of what it does on Earth, so it's fairly small, really. Mars gets its Greek name from the god of war Ares, or Mars, Roman or Greek. Yeah, Mars will one day have a ring due to the fact that its atmosphere is full of a lot of dust too. And eventually will be repelled out of its atmosphere.
Summary. Mars is not known and has a lot that needs.
Mars is not known and has a lot that is needed to be studied, and so pretty much what we're kind of explaining is, even though we know it's out there and even though we've been able to collect samples, we still don't know a lot about it. We are unable to put somebody on there themselves, and so it's kind of hard to understand something when you can't really touch it or be there with it. So we are hoping, and even scientists are hoping someday, that we can figure out a way to put living organisms and humans, plants on Mars, and also to discover if there is water or not, whether there is water or not on Mars.
Alright, so questions. The first question is, what is the density of Mars?
And the answer to that is 3.93 grams centimeters per centimeter, cubed.
Okay.
3.93 grams per centimeter cubed.
How many rovers did they send out on the first rover mission?
And the answer to that is 2. But we forgot to put that up there. They sent 2, but only 1 landed on Mars.
And how many moons do Mars have?
Mars has 2 moons. That's the answer.
Wait, there's
Go back,
still
go
more
back.
Yeah,
questions.
we got 2 more. I'm just waiting for everyone to get done rolling it down.
How many days in a year on Mars?
So that would be 687 Earth days.
Alright, oh wait a second.
What was number 4?
The answer was 687 Earth days.
Thank you.
Alright, how long is a Mars day compared to Earth?
And the answer to that is, it is actually 37 minutes longer, so it's 24 hours and 37 minutes for an average Mars day. Now we're excited, Paige.
Why don't you go back to the questions? That's good. Why don't everybody here, including y'all, you can go online, put the answers next to the questions, okay? So because a couple of kids aren't here, right? So let's do that. And then you can study for it by accessing it and checking it out, okay? The TAs will select well, we got six times 5 is 30, so we'll probably have, I don't know, 10 or 15 questions, half of them will be on the test, okay? All right, start the criticism.
Wait, what would be answer to number 5?
Go back to number 5.
37 minutes. Yeah, 24 hours and 37 minutes.